Hello, fellow zombie lovers. My major is musical theater performance, so for my final project, I decided to write a zombie musical. I am not, however, trained at all in any way in music writing or lyricist writing, so I'm not good at writing musicals, but I thought it'd be fun. I think it'd be cool to write a zombie musical, so I did. Um, and I tried to pick a plot that could actually kind of happen or seemed reasonable, I guess, anyway. So I focused on the first half is kind of philosophical zombie, and the second half is kind of Romero zombie. And my plot deals with fast food. I am not a anti-fast food activist by any means, but I remember reading an article and seeing newscasts and like all this hubbub about the genetic mutation of animals and food, um, and like chickens being born without bones and like fish being 3 times the size they're supposed to be just so that it can be mass produced faster and have more meat on them and blah blah blah. So I figured when I read those articles that something is bound to go wrong. It didn't stop me from eating meat, but something could definitely go wrong, right? So for my musical, it does go wrong and it creates zombies. So there you go. So in my story, it takes place in the town name is still a work in progress. I've been using a Romeroville as a substitute, and I'm just keeping it for now. But it's in a little town, a medium-sized town called a Romeroville with a very medium population, kind of in the middle of the country. I've decided right now because that's fun, because then it can spread everywhere. But it's could be anywhere. But there's this guy Donald, and he owns a fast food restaurant, and he has a daughter Katrina, and she's all he cares about in the whole world. And he's frustrated because he's surrounded by chain fast food restaurants, and no one will come to his restaurant, King Donald. Also a work in progress name, but it'll work for now. So Donald is sad. His restaurant is going bankrupt. And so he seeks the help of his daughter Katrina's boyfriend, Colin, who's a chemist, to make a sort of thing to be ingested in the food to make it addicting, because like just slightly addicting. And I kind of got this from like those articles too, because I read that there's like the sugar they use in like Burger King and McDonald's and all those, like the French fries, they are like, it's actually is kind of addicting. I've heard like really is like the sugar. Anyway, so that's where I got that from. So he does. Well, Colin feels uncomfortable with it, but he agrees to do it because he wants to marry Donald's daughter Katrina, and he wants to get on Donald's good side. So he agrees to do it. And so he comes up with this sugar. I am not a chemist by any means, biologist. I don't know anything about science, but in my head, it makes sense. So he makes this sugar that can, I don't know, either be cooked with the food or like injected into it or something, where it is addicting, and when people consume it, they want more. And he meant it very subtly, like just a very basic addiction. But Donald is so desperate because he's so bankrupt. He just takes it, even though Colin says it needs further testing. It needs long term, needs to see what the long term effects are. Donald takes it and immediately starts using it in his food, and it seems to be working, so he keeps it. And so people, like, he notices more people start arriving. So anyways, yeah, he keeps it and he's happy with it. But over time, people start reacting a little differently than he thought. Not that they're Romero zombies, but they're like philosophical zombies. So each time they eat, they just kind of lose a little bit of themselves more. So they're kind of like in a trance almost. Here's what I brought it from. Again, I'm not good at science at all. But I remember when I was a daughter, when I was a little girl, my grandpa scared me to death, almost. I don't drink pop anymore because of this. But he made a very graphic explanation of what the sugar in soda pop does to your bones, because it kind of like eats away at them, but that's not how he worded it. So that's what I kind of took away from this sugar, is that this addictive sugar kind of eats away at your brain a lot, like your cortex and stuff, the stuff that makes you, your personality, your thoughts, your original thoughts, and just leaves you with the very basic parts of your brain, needing to sleep, needing to eat, needing to go to the bathroom, but more importantly to eat. And so it happens gradually, and so people start to need this food more and more, and they start going to King Donald's to get it. So that's where my first song comes in. It is supposed to be making fun of musicals, which I know is not as funny to you guys because you're not a musical nerd like I am, but this is like the big musical number with the whole cast. So I'm singing a song with the whole cast, so just imagine beautiful harmonies. And when I repeat things, like in the beginning, that's actually different people repeating, the same word, one after another, or whispering them or chanting them with some cool on stage type motion. So I'm sorry. It's also really cheesy. The beginning, I wrote 3 songs, but the third song didn't work out, so I'm just going to explain it to you instead of playing it to you. So the beginning kind of refers to that third song. So it won't make sense, and it's kind of cheesy and dorky when you hear it now. So just kind of work with me, I guess. But this is them kind of, they still like have a little bit of their personalities, but they don't really know what's going on. So they're just kind of, they know they want food, they just don't understand kind of why, they just want it. And they don't really know it's King Donald yet, so they're just kind of like roaming the town. But yeah, so I mean, I'll explain more after. But here's my first song. Don't laugh at me.